Anti-Israel protests sweeping college campuses across our country, including at Yale University, where police say they arrested 47 people just yesterday. Jeremy Hunt is a former Army captain who attended Yale University. He's with me on campus right now. Jeremy, great to have you as always. And as someone who walked these campus buildings, who walked these campus walkways, whose Yale Law School campus, no joke, is about 20 yards to my right.
That's right.
What's your reaction to what you're seeing?
Yeah, well, I first just want to say, look, I mean, there are many people that might be watching what's going on and thinking, you know, this is just normal kind of campus craziness. Yeah, this is something that we should all just kind of expect. College students do crazy things. That is not what we're seeing here. What we're seeing here is far, far worse than that. And one thing that I learned being in classrooms with these students for 3 years is that they genuinely believe the nonsense that you've heard at these protests. I mean, they truly believe that up is down and down is up. They honestly believe that when you look at the atrocities and the mass rape and murder that happened on October 7th, that it was somehow justified because they think that Israel is a so-called apartheid state. I mean, so what's very concerning is that these folks are going to be using their Ivy League degrees to become leaders in academia, business, politics, and the rest of us, we need to do everything we can to make sure they never get anywhere close to power, because we know that they have such a distorted view of justice. And it's one of the reasons why even at Veterans on Duty, we're always about having veteran leaders, promoting folks who care about our Constitution, that care about their country, making sure those folks have a shot in running for office, because we don't want people at places like Yale actually coming into major institutions and leading our country. It is dangerous. You know, what's funny is when I first got here, I thought that I was going to build bridges and find common ground. There is no common ground to be found with people who think that our Jewish brothers and sisters deserve what happened on October 7th. The only way forward is to make sure we defeat them and that these folks have no chance of leading our country in the future.
Okay, but how? How do you want to see the Yale University leadership respond to what they saw yesterday and what potentially they could see today in the coming days?
Have a backbone. Arrest them. If you are going to get on campus and spout out openly, blatantly anti-Semitic remarks, if you're going to be here saying horrible things about people who, by the way, are classmates. That's the crazy thing about Yale is that you'll sit in a classroom with someone right next to them, and the next day they're protesting you. I mean, this should not be. This is not a hard leadership test. This is not one of those tough decisions, and you got to kind of figure out how to weigh. There's one solution. That is, make sure that these folks are no longer enrolled at the school if they're going to say horrible things about Jewish people. And other thing to remember, too, is that what's ironic about this whole thing is that they really cared about peace in the Middle East and peace for the Palestinian people. They would be out here protesting Hamas, not Israel. Right. I mean, there is one way to peace in the Middle East, and that is if Israel finishes this fight, that is if they defeat Hamas, free the hostages, and free the Palestinian civilians from the grips of Hamas and restore deterrence. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Vets on Duty, we supported the financial package to send financial aid over to our allies in the Middle East and Eastern Europe to make sure they have the resources they need to defeat those who want to defeat the United States.
What I can't wrap my head around, Jeremy, is schools like Yale, Columbia, they are the bastions of DEI. Think of all the money that went to DEI and is still going to DEI at these universities. Yet, for some reason, that does not apply to our Jewish brothers and sisters, but it does apply to Hamas terrorists. Help me understand that.
I mean, we are seeing the results of decades of these DEI programs. And what do we have? We have a spirit of hate that is clearly embedded in a lot of these students and what they believe about each other, what they believe about people who think differently from them, people who have different politics, people who are proud of their Jewish heritage, who are proud to stand with Israel. They hate those who think differently. And so if that is the result of DEI, we need to make sure DEI has no place in any institution in this country again.
I understand that you said the individuals believe what they're doing. They believe in these causes, despite how insane it seems to us. But if they believe, why are they all wearing masks? Because quite frankly, I don't see a lot of COVID floating around here.
That is one of the most perplexing things I've tried to figure out for 3 years. Like, why are people still obsessed with these masks? I don't know. You're outside. I trust that we're okay here.
Right, but my question is, like, are they embarrassed? Even though they're proud of their belief, are they somehow embarrassed and they don't want the world to see?
Maybe for some of them, but I honestly think the far majority of them, what's really disturbing is that they are not here because of peer pressure. They aren't here because, they think this is just kind of a cool fad to be a part of and they want acceptance. They genuinely believe that what they are standing on is actually the right thing. And that's what's so disturbing, is that they are totally bass-ackwards in the way they approach everything in our culture. And so, they wear the masks. A lot of times, they have their little theories floating around about why they do that. I won't get on that. Sure. But I'll just say it's not something that they're proud of what they believe, and they stand on it.
It has to be extremely difficult for you as a veteran to experience that. It's tough for just Americans to see what's going on and say, is this our country right now? Yeah. Jeremy, thank you for fighting for our country. We appreciate you doing that. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, Todd.
Carly, over to you.
Yeah, they are in full belief, and some of them are chanting, "We are Hamas." Todd, Jeremy, thank you so much.